Hello my friends, welcome back to English Unlocked. I'm Peter, and today we're diving into one of the biggest secrets to becoming truly fluent in English: how to stop translating in your head. Do you ever feel stuck, like your brain is fighting between two languages? You want to speak, but your thoughts come in your native language first? Don't worry, you're not alone. In this lesson, you'll learn 3 powerful techniques. Keycap 1: How to train your brain to think directly in English. Keycap 2: A simple daily habit that reprograms your inner voice. Keycap 3: And real-life exercises to make your English flow naturally. No more stress, no more pauses. Sounds good? Then stay till the end. I've got a small bonus challenge that can change the way you practice forever. And hey, if you love learning English in a smart, fun, and real way, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to English Unlocked, so you never miss our next lesson and story. Let's get started. Today, I want to tell you a small story, my story, about how I started learning English. When I was young, I thought English was easy. I learned words like apple, dog, school, and I felt proud. But when I tried to speak, nothing came out. My brain was full of grammar rules, but my mouth was empty. I felt stupid. I remember one time, a tourist asked me, "Excuse me, where is the station?" And I just froze. I knew all the words, but they were locked inside my head. I smiled, pointed with my hand, and said nothing. That night I was so angry with myself. I asked, why can I understand the words, but I can't speak them? Then I realized I was learning English only from books, not from life. I always tried to translate everything in my head. First, I thought in my language. Then, I tried to change the words into English. It was slow, painful, and I lost confidence. So I decided to change my way. I started to listen to English every day. Songs, short podcasts, even small conversations. I repeated the words. At first, it was hard. I didn't understand much. But little by little, something beautiful happened. My brain started to think in English. Just a few words, but it was real. When I saw the sun, I thought, it's a beautiful day. When I was hungry, I thought, I want to eat. No translation. Just English. That was the first time I felt real progress. Not perfect, but alive. English became part of my daily life. Not a subject, but a friend. And you know what? From that day, I promised myself, I will not learn English only for exams. I will learn it to live. Hello, my friends. It's Peter again from English Unlocked. In the last story, I told you how I started to think in English. Today, I want to share what happened next, how I made English part of my life every day. At first, I thought I needed big study plans. I made long lists of words. I wrote many grammar rules. But after 1 week, I was tired. I stopped. It was too hard. So one morning, I told myself, Peter, stop trying to be perfect. Just take small steps. I started very simple. Every morning, I listened to one short English story. Sometimes only 5 minutes. I listened while drinking coffee. I didn't stop the audio. I didn't translate. I just listened and tried to feel the meaning. At night, I wrote 3 short sentences about my day in English. For example, today I went to work. I met my friend. I was happy. It looked small, but it changed my brain slowly. After 1 month, I could write without thinking in my own language. That felt amazing. I also began to talk to myself in English. Yes, it sounds funny, but it worked. When I cooked, I said, "Now I cut the tomato." When I cleaned my room, I said, "I'm cleaning my desk." These small sentences made my mouth move in English. It became natural, almost like breathing. Some days I was lazy. Some days I forgot. But I didn't give up. I told myself, even one small step is better than no step. And you know what? English became like brushing my teeth, just something I do every day. Not hard, not boring, just normal. One morning, I realized something beautiful. I was walking to work, and a song in English played in my head. I understood the words without thinking. I smiled and said softly, "Wow, it's working." That moment gave me hope. Step by step, I was unlocking my English, not with big effort, but with small daily love. And that's what I want you to remember too. Don't wait for motivation. Start small, but start today. In the last story, I told you how small daily steps helped me make English a habit. Today, I want to tell you what happened when I used English in real life for the first time. One sunny afternoon, I went to a small coffee shop near my home. When I sat down, I saw a tourist reading a map. He looked lost. He turned to me and said, "Excuse me, do you know where the museum is?" My heart jumped. I wanted to help, but I was scared. My brain said, "Peter, don't make a mistake." But then I remembered my promise. English is my friend, not my enemy. So I smiled and said slowly, "Yes, I know. Go straight, then turn right." He smiled back and said, "Thank you, my friend." At that moment, my heart was beating fast, but I felt proud. It was only one small sentence, but it was real English. Not from a book, not from a class. From me. After that day, I wanted more. So I started to look for small chances to use English. I said, "Hello," to travelers in the park. I asked short questions online. Sometimes, people didn't understand me. Sometimes I made mistakes. But that was okay. Each mistake was a teacher. One time, I joined a small English club. We sat in a circle, drank tea, and shared stories. I listened more than I spoke, but I learned so much. I learned real words, real voices, and real laughter. It made English feel alive. I still remember the first friend I made there. Her name was Anna. She told me, "Peter, don't be afraid. We all start small." Those words touched me deeply. Since that day, I stopped worrying about being perfect. I just wanted to connect. Now, when I look back, I smile. That small conversation in the coffee shop changed my life. It showed me that English is not only grammar or words. It is connection, heart to heart, person to person. So, my friend, if you are listening now, remember this. Don't wait until your English is perfect. Start talking today. Even one small sentence can open a big door. I told you about my first real conversations in English. They made me so happy. But learning English is not always happy. Sometimes it's very hard. After some months, I felt tired. I listened every day. I wrote small notes. I spoke with friends. But I felt no progress. I started to think, maybe I'm not good at this. That thought made me sad. One night, I sat at my desk and looked at my notebook. So many words, so many lines, but my English still felt the same. I closed the book and said softly, maybe I should stop. It was a hard moment. The next morning, I met Anna from the English club. She smiled and said, Peter, are you okay? I told her the truth. I feel tired. I think I'm not learning anymore. She laughed a little and said, Peter, do you know the sky? I said, of course. She said, sometimes it's cloudy, sometimes it's blue. But the sky is always there. Her words touched me. Learning English is like the sky. Sometimes we can't see progress, but it's still there, inside us. Even small practice every day changes us slowly. That day, I didn't study books. I went for a walk. I listened to an English song. I didn't try to understand every word. I just enjoyed the music. And for the first time in many days, I smiled. I realized I was learning too hard. I forgot to have fun. So I started again, but this time with joy. I watched funny videos in English. I listened to podcasts with stories. I laughed, I repeated, I played with words. English became light again. Some days were still slow, but I didn't give up. When I felt tired, I rested, then started again. I learned that motivation is not magic. It comes when you move, not when you wait. So, my friend, if you ever feel like giving up, please remember this. It's okay to rest. It's okay to feel tired. But don't close the book forever. Your English sky is still there, waiting for you to look up again. After that hard time, something inside me started to change. I didn't want to study English like a school subject anymore. I wanted to live with it, to make it part of my world. So I asked myself, what do I love? The answer came fast. I love music, movies, and stories. I started with songs. Every morning I played one English song I liked. At first, I only listened. Then I looked at the lyrics. I sang softly, even if I said some words wrong. It made me feel free. Sometimes I didn't understand every line, but I felt the emotion. Music helped me love English again. Then I began to watch movies with subtitles. Not long movies, short ones, funny ones. I watched one small part many times. I listened, I repeated, I laughed. Slowly, my ears became stronger. I could catch words I didn't hear before. It felt like magic. Learning became fun again. I also started to read short stories online. Simple stories for kids with pictures. They made me happy. I learned new words, but I didn't feel tired. I read before sleeping, just 5 or 10 minutes. It became a sweet habit. One day, I found myself dreaming in English. Only a few words, but it was real. I woke up smiling and said, "Wow, my brain is working even when I sleep." From that moment, I understood something big. English is not just about grammar and exams. It is a door to songs, books, people, and dreams. When I used English to enjoy my hobbies, learning was no longer work. It became a part of who I am. So now, when someone asks me, "Peter, how can I enjoy English?" I tell them this: don't only study English, live with it. Sing with it, laugh with it, dream with it. Make it part of what you love, and it will never feel hard again. And that was how I fell in love with English, not in a classroom, but in life itself. After I started to enjoy English through songs and movies, something new happened. I began to feel more confident. I didn't just want to learn alone anymore. I wanted to talk to real people, people from other countries, people who spoke English every day. At first, I was shy. My English was still slow. Sometimes I needed to think before every word. But I told myself, "Peter, if you wait until you are perfect, you will never start." So I opened my phone and joined a small online English group. It was full of people from different places: India, Brazil, Japan, and Vietnam. Everyone wanted the same thing: to practice and make friends. The first time I spoke, my hands were shaking. I said, "Hello, I'm Peter from Europe." My voice was small and nervous. But they smiled and said, "Hi, Peter. Nice to meet you." In that moment, my fear started to melt. I realized something important. People don't care if your English is perfect. They care if you are kind and honest. Every night I talked with my new friends. We spoke about food, weather, hobbies, and dreams. Sometimes we laughed because of funny mistakes. Sometimes we helped each other find the right word. Those talks were my best lessons. Real, simple, human. One day, I met a man named Leo from Brazil. He told me, "Peter, when we talk, I feel close even if we live far." That touched my heart. I understood that English was not just a language. It was a bridge, a way to connect hearts. After that, I made more friends. We shared songs, stories, and sometimes problems too. When I felt sad, they listened. When I felt lost, they encouraged me. We didn't have perfect English, but we had real friendship. Because of them, my speaking became faster. I stopped translating in my head. I started to feel English, not only learn it. Each conversation gave me new energy to keep going. Now, when I think about English, I don't see it as a school subject. I see faces, smiles, and memories. Friends from many places, all because of English. And that, my friend, is the most beautiful gift this language has ever given me. There was a time I tried to learn English by myself, but I had no plan. I just watched random videos, listened to songs, and hoped my English would improve. Of course, it didn't. I was busy, I forgot what I learned, and sometimes I felt lost. Then I realized something important. I needed a system. Not a big or difficult one, just a small daily plan I could follow. So I made a rule. Every day I must touch English. Could be 10 minutes or 1 hour, but I must listen, read, or speak something. If I was tired, I listened to easy podcasts. If I had more time, I practiced writing short sentences about my day. Little by little, English became part of my life, like brushing my teeth or checking my phone. At first, I didn't see progress. My brain felt slow, my tongue was shy, and my ears were confused. But after 2 or 3 months, I started to notice small changes. I could understand some phrases from movies without subtitles. I could order food in English when I traveled. And that feeling, wow, it was so good. It made me want to learn more. The truth is, English doesn't grow from one big study day. It grows from many small moments every single day. When you listen a little every morning, read a little at lunch, or write a small note before bed, your brain connects the dots. That's how fluency slowly builds up. I also started to repeat my favorite podcasts and write down the sentences I liked. I didn't just listen, I tried to feel the rhythm of the language. Sometimes I even talked to myself. Yes, I sounded crazy, but it helped. Talking to yourself is one of the best free English teachers in the world. Now, after many years, I can see the pattern clearly. Consistency beats motivation. Even 10 minutes a day is better than 2 hours once a week. Because English is not something you study, it's something you live with. So, if you are learning English now, don't worry about big results. Focus on one small step each day. Someday you'll look back and realize how far you've come, and you'll smile, just like I did. After I learned to review and focus on simple English, I started to face another problem. I was shy to speak. Every time I tried to open my mouth, my brain said, "Don't speak. You will make a mistake." I was so scared of being wrong that I said nothing at all. And that, my friend, was the real mistake. One day, I watched a little boy learning to ride a bike. He fell again and again, but he kept smiling. He didn't care how many times he fell. He just stood up and tried again. And I thought, that's me with English. If I don't speak because I'm afraid, I'll never move forward. So I started small. I talked to myself in English when I was alone. Simple things like, I'm cooking rice, or I'm going to work. At first, it felt funny, but slowly, it became natural. Then I tried speaking to my phone using voice messages or AI chatbots. They didn't laugh, and that made me feel safe. Later, I joined an online speaking club. The first time, my hands were shaking. My voice was small and nervous. But the people there were kind. They didn't care about my mistakes. They just listened. That moment changed me. I realized that most people don't judge you when you speak English. They just want to understand you. The more I spoke, the less afraid I felt. And something strange happened. I started to enjoy it. I began to tell stories, share my ideas, and even make jokes in English. Sometimes I said the wrong word and everyone laughed, but in a good way. I laughed too. That's when I learned that speaking English is not about being perfect. It's about connecting. I also noticed something important. When I spoke English often, I learned faster. Words stayed in my head longer. Grammar rules became natural, like muscle memory. It's like when you play a game, you don't study the rules, you just play, and you get better. Now, whenever someone tells me, I can't speak English, I say, you can. You just haven't started yet. Start small. Talk to yourself, to your phone, or to your pet. It doesn't matter. The first words are always the hardest, but they open the door to everything. And when you finally speak to someone and they understand you, even a little, it feels amazing. That small victory gives you power to keep going. That's how confidence grows. Not in silence, but in the sound of your own voice trying again and again. After I learned to speak without fear, I understood one thing. Learning English never really ends. It's not a short trip. It's a long road with many stops. Sometimes you feel strong, sometimes you feel tired, but you just keep walking. There were days when I didn't want to study anymore. I felt bored, lazy, or even hopeless. I thought, why am I doing this? English is too hard. But then I remembered how far I had come. I remembered my first word, my first sentence, my first real talk with a foreign friend. Those small wins gave me power to keep going. To make learning fun again, I changed my way. I stopped studying only books and grammar. Instead, I started doing things I loved, in English. I watched funny videos, listened to songs, played games, read simple stories. I even changed my phone language to English. At first, I got confused, but it was a good kind of confused, the kind that helps you grow. Then I began to mix English with my real life. When I went shopping, I said prices in English in my head. When I walked outside, I named things around me, tree, sky, road. When I felt happy or sad, I tried to say it in English, even just a few words. And you know what? It started to feel natural. English was no longer just a subject. It became part of my daily life. Sometimes people ask me, when will I finish learning English? And I smile, because there's no finish line. Even now, after 10 years, I'm still learning. But I don't feel tired, I feel curious. Every new word feels like a small treasure. Every new conversation feels like a door to another world. Learning English is not about being perfect. It's about being brave, being curious, and being patient with yourself. It's about enjoying the small steps, the funny mistakes, the slow progress, the moments. All of them are part of your story. So, if you are still learning, don't rush. Go slow but go steady. Celebrate your small wins. Talk, listen, read, repeat. Make English your friend, not your enemy. And when you look back one day, you'll realize something beautiful. You didn't just learn English. You learned how to never give up. You learned how to keep going even when it's hard. And that lesson is worth more than any word or grammar rule. Stay with me till the end. Here are 2 simple tips from Peter's story that can help you learn English faster. Tip 1. Try one small new thing every day in English, like reading a short story or speaking with a friend. Tip 2. Write down your progress and successes, even little ones, to see how much you are growing. If you enjoyed this journey with me, don't forget to hit subscribe, like, and share so we can keep learning together. Thank you so much for listening, and I can't wait to see you in the next episode. Keep practicing and see you soon.